You trust your real estate agent, right? Of course you do. They're helping you find your dream home. But what if their advice on getting a mortgage wasn't really about what's best for you, but what's best for them? Well, a brand new lawsuit is putting that exact question under a microscope, and it's a big one.
Yeah, it really all comes down to this one simple question. When your agent says, hey, you should check out this lender, are they really pointing you to the best possible deal? Or is there, something else going on behind the curtains? And that very question, it is now at the heart of a massive class action lawsuit filed against the mortgage giant Rocket Companies. The central accusation is a pretty serious one. It's something called mortgage steering. All right, so let's break this down. First up, we need to understand what the plaintiffs are even accusing Rocketstar of. What in the world is steering anyway?
Okay, so here's the deal. In simple terms, mortgage steering is when an agent pushes you toward a specific lender. Not because it's the best deal for you, but because it benefits them. And that's the core of this whole thing. The lawsuit is basically saying Rocket has built its entire business model around this practice.
So how does this alleged scheme actually work? Well, according to the lawsuit, it's a three-step process. First, Rocket gives real estate agents what they want most: valuable leads, people looking to buy homes. But there's a catch. In exchange, those agents are basically required to push their clients to use Rocket Mortgage. And here's the real kicker, step 3. If an agent's client decides to go with a different lender, that agent gets penalized. They have to pay a higher referral fee back to Rocket. You can see how that creates a massive financial incentive for agents to push Rocket, right? Even if it's not the best deal for their client. And the lawsuit doesn't mince words. Not at all. It says, and I'm quoting here, all of this conduct is textbook steering. I mean, that is about as direct and serious an accusation as you can get in a legal filing. Okay, so who is actually making these claims? Let's meet the key players in this legal drama. So, on paper, the lawsuit is being brought by 3 regular homebuyers from a few different states, but the name you really need to pay attention to here is the law firm Higgins Berman. Now, if that name rings a bell, it's for good reason. These are the same lawyers behind the enormous Moral Commission lawsuit that completely rocked the real estate world. They've also gone after Zillow for similar stuff. Let's just say they are not new to these kinds of high-stakes, industry-changing fights.
And the lead attorney, Steve Berman, he's framing this whole thing as a fight for, quote, everyday families. He's basically saying that people depend on the real estate market to be fair and transparent, and his whole argument is that right now, the system is rigged against the average home buyer.
But of course, there are 2 sides to every story, and Rocket has a very different take on all this. Let's hear what they have to say.
Rocket's response was swift, and it was strong. They came out and said they categorically disagree with the claims. But here's their main point. They're arguing that this isn't some new bombshell accusation. They're calling it a complete retread of an old case that the U.S. government already filed against them, a case that got thrown out.
And this timeline is really key to understanding Rocket's side of the story. See, back in late 2024, a big government agency, the CFPB, filed a super similar lawsuit. But then, just a few months later, poof, it was dropped. Right after that, Rocket went on to buy the brokerage Redfin. And now, here we are with this new lawsuit from homebuyers. So you can see Rocket's whole argument, right? They're saying, hey, we've been here before, we fought this, and the case was dismissed. Why are we talking about this again?
So this is what the whole case is going to boil down to. On one side, you've got the plaintiffs saying, no, this is happening right now. It's an ongoing, illegal scheme that's hurting homebuyers today. And on the other side, you've got Rocket saying, nope, these are just old, recycled claims from a case that's already dead and buried. That's the fundamental disagreement that this whole thing will turn on.
Okay, so we've got the legal arguments, but why does any of this actually matter to you? What are the real-world stakes here?
Well, for one thing, just look at the sheer scale of this. We're talking about hundreds of thousands of homebuyers who could potentially join this class action lawsuit. Think about that. This isn't just a few people with a grudge. We're talking about a potentially enormous group of people who feel they were wronged.
And the ripple effects, man, they could be huge. If the court sides against Rocket, it could completely redefine the rules for how agents give referrals. It could change how mortgage companies and real estate brokerages work together. And it shines a massive spotlight on an agent's fiduciary duty. That's their legal duty to act in your best interest, not their own. Seriously, the outcome of this one case could change how all of us choose a mortgage lender down the road.
And that brings us right back to where we started, doesn't it? This whole lawsuit really forces all of us to ask a really important question. The next time you get a referral for anything, a mortgage lender, a plumber, a mechanic, whatever, it's worth taking just a second to ask yourself, whose interest is really being served here? Is it mine or is it someone else's?